Okay, many of you have asked me, when are you going to dyno the Ecodiesel JL now that it has 37-inch tires? Well, that day is going to be today. We're gonna hop in and we're gonna take the JL down to Paradigm Auto Works and we're gonna fire it up on the dyno and we're gonna just see what sort of difference adding 37-inch tires makes to the horsepower and torque over the stock wheels and tires. But first, before we head out, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Pretty sure this video is going to be uploaded after we've already hit 20,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mind-blowing that we've got to that number this year. We started out the year at 5,000 and we're at 20,000 and growing. I just appreciate everybody supporting the channel, hitting that subscribe button, liking the videos, watching the videos. It's been a really fun year despite all of the plans that have had to be changed and modified because we can't travel. So that kind of leads me to the next topic, road trips and other trips. Well, we just had a couple major road trips. The last one up to the Kootenay Mountains. If you haven't already watched it, I'll put a link up in the corner. Had a great time spending a few nights with Sean from Story Till Now and Clint from Dirt Garage, as well as a bunch of other great off-road friends. And so I want to go back and I want to do some more exploring because I had a lot of trips planned this year. If you've been subscribed to the channel for a while back, I've kind of recapped what we were doing this year, and that all changed when we couldn't travel. So a lot of you guys have said, when are we gonna see the Corvette on the channel? Well, I did a vlog when I bought the Corvette a year and a half ago, and it's probably one of my lowest viewed videos. So it really, it just really isn't the type of channel that this is about. I've been wanting to do a road trip with the Corvette this year. I wanted to do a charity rally up in the Okanagan back in August, but that was canceled due to social distancing. So there hasn't been really a great opportunity. And then I got to thinking, why don't I take you guys on an awesome road trip around British Columbia without going off-road? Because BC has some absolutely stunning roads to drive on, some really beautiful highways and parks that you basically drive through, mountain ranges, roads, all kinds of rivers, and just, it's crazy. So I put together a road trip for the upcoming long weekend, which is 1,400 kilometers, and we're gonna do a loop around the southwest side of British Columbia, going from Vancouver to Oasis in the Okanagan Valley, up to Kamloops, and then we're gonna finish up at Whistler. If you haven't heard of Whistler, they had the Olympics back in 2010, and it is just an absolutely stunning couple sections of highway. I just wanna show off what you can come and see in BC if you don't have an off-road vehicle. So that is gonna be a really, really fun road trip, and I wanna bring you guys along. And so if you wanna see that, obviously subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, thanks so much. So right after that trip, basically 4 days after that trip, we're gonna get back to Victoria, we're gonna drop off the Corvette, and we're gonna get back into the Jeep. We're gonna take the JL back up to the Kootenays, actually. Sean from the Story Till Now is gonna join us once again, and we rented a house up there for 8 days. We enjoyed it so much that we wanted to go and bring our families up with us and spend some time up in the Kootenays and do some more exploring. So we're gonna do day trips instead of camping. We've got some ideas where we wanna go and explore and see some things. And maybe Clint from Dirt Garage will come back up and join us for that. And I know Mike, our fearless leader on our last trip, is gonna try to make it out and come along with us on some of that adventures. We're trying to put together a trip in October with the guys from Epic Adventure Outfitters and Sean as well to come over to the island, and we want to do some exploring and maybe some camping on the island. It'd be nice for me to go do some adventures without having to take a ferry every time I want to leave Victoria, and they really want to come over to the island and see some things as well. So that is pretty much what's going on for the next couple of months. So on top of that, I get a lot of questions, where is the JK? What happened to the JK? If you're new to the channel, you may not remember the red JK that I have, a 2008 JK. You can see it here behind me. It's tucked up on the side of my driveway. The JK hasn't gone anywhere. I haven't sold it. I don't actually know what I want to do with it as of yet. But I've just got another spot here up the side of my driveway where I've decided to park it for now, and it's just kind of been sitting here. I wash it every now and then to get all the tree crap off it. It's running, it's fine. I don't know, I might sell it, I might not. I haven't really fully made that decision yet. What do you guys think I should do with it? Should we continue to mod it? Should we use it for island wheeling where it's really tight trails and we bump into things a little bit more often? Or should I maybe get rid of it? I was thinking of maybe getting a quad or something like that for island wheeling where I can get to more places, I can see more things, maybe do some really compact camping for a night or two on it. For now, we've got the Ecodiesel JL, which I'm really, really enjoying. and we're gonna take that on some more adventures. So I was thinking about doing a full Q&A. I just wanted to hit a couple of the big questions that I see constantly coming up in the comments. I do read the comments, pretty much every single comment. I try to reply to as many as I can. I really do appreciate you guys leaving them. If you guys want to see me do a Q&A, leave some of your questions down below, and I'll put them all together into one maybe big compilation video where I can address them all and just go through them really quickly and kind of give you guys some answers if you're wondering what else is going on. When we go back up to the Kootenays, that's going to be the same weekend that the Expedition Overlanders Film Festival is on. And as you guys know, if you've seen the previous videos, Sean and I did put together a film and we did submit it. It's already done. We're really hoping that they like it, that their judges like it, and if they do, they will be showing it on the film festival. So we're going to be watching that live. I don't know if I'll do a live stream on this channel, but Sean likes to do live streams on his channel, The Story Till Now. So maybe the two of us will appear on that channel. So make sure you do go check him out and subscribe to his channel as well. And if we win, we're gonna celebrate together because that'd be amazing. But it was just a lot of fun to make the video. Both of us really enjoyed it. We learned a lot about video making, and it was just a great experience. So with that, let's get in the Jeep. Let's head down to Paradigm. Can't fit through the door. We are back at Paradigm Auto Works. They are the owners of the four-wheel drive dyno that we used before when we first got the Jeep. We threw it on there, we ran some numbers, and you know, I just want to address the questions that you guys had. How much impact is there from adding these large 37-inch tires, which I think they're like 138 pounds or something like that over the 78 that you get with stock. So we're just gonna get some cars out of the way. We're gonna pull the Jeep up on the dyno, and we're gonna do a few pulls here in just a few minutes. That's what I call a supercharger. Holy smokes. We have the JL, I guess, strapped down to the dyno. I've got Greg here. Greg is the owner and the boss over here at Paradigm Auto Works, and he's gonna be doing our dyno test today. For anybody who hasn't seen the Jeep on the dyno before, tell us a little bit about your dyno here and what it does.
Yeah, well, we've got an all-wheel drive Superflow dyno. It's really adjustable for pretty much any wheelbase. It's one of the only dynos that can actually read all-wheel drive cars, the front and the rear, separately, so you get your percentage split. It's rated as the most consistent reading dyno on the market. We've gone with an above-ground dyno setup, which we find has a lot more pros, especially for angle tension and securing vehicles, and the ability to get under the car before it goes on the dyno, which is great.
I don't think anybody has dynoed the Ecodiesel with 37-inch tires, and they are quite a bit of added weight. I think it was stock tires and wheels were around 78 pounds, and these guys, I believe, were around 135 or 138 a corner. So it is turning a little bit more weight. Now, I just have my old notes. We have done some dynos we've done, well, pretty much Paradigm's the only place we dyno here in Victoria, but we had the JK on the dyno back in last October, almost a year ago to date. And the my 2008 with the 3.8 liter and anemic transmission on 37s had 132 horsepower and 164 pound-feet of torque. Now, it doesn't make such a big difference on the trail, especially with the 4-to-1 transfer case, but on the highway, it's not so much fun to drive. Now, the Ecodiesel has been awesome on the highway, but from the factory on the dyno, when we dynoed this last time, in two-wheel drive, we had 215 horsepower and 363 pound-feet of torque. And when we loaded it up with all four wheels on the dyno, it only dropped down to about 201 horsepower and 338 pound-feet of torque. So a little bit of power loss by spinning all four wheels, but on stock tires. So we're gonna just see in two-wheel drive how close we are to that 215 horsepower and 363 pound-feet of torque. So just a reminder, guys, we did update or recalibrate the speedometer with the Taser JL to match it up to the larger tire size. I think we set it to about 36.8 inch tire diameter from the 32.9, I think it is, from stock. And I have checked that speed against some of those speed reader boards. So we do know it's probably within 1 kilometer or 2 of actual true speed. And so we will be dynoing with the recalibrated computer in there. Now, we don't have any tunes. The Taser JL doesn't allow us to tune it at all. And as far as I know, nobody's actually cracked into these computers yet to start tuning them. So this is pretty much completely stock, with the exception that we've recalibrated for the larger tires.
Well, first step is we're just going to roll the back wheels so we know that the vehicle is centered, recheck our straps, calibrate the RPM, and do a run.
Awesome. Let's see where we get to.
Right on.
So we just did a pull, and we've got some results here that we'll take a look at. We've got our old results in two-wheel drive on stock tires, and that is the red line, right?
Yeah.
And then we have our new results here, which is on the 37-inch tires, which is the black line. So we see a little bit of a difference in the curve of the horsepower, but we still have a max peak pretty much the same at 215 horsepower. But what is that actually, what's our total on the torque?
So what we hit on the torque peak was about 342. And it's pretty typical with the bigger tires because this is where we lost the power in the lower end.
Yeah.
You know, even though the horsepower is the same number, it takes a while to get there. You know, and you can see in the bottom end, the black line here is not as high as the red line because of the bigger tires. But once you get up to speed and the turbo is spooling, you've got the same horsepower. Down below, in this section here, 358 to 314, you almost have 50 foot-pounds of torque difference.
While the turbo's spooling, we figure in that range.
There's just a whole lot more inertia and force it has to turn.
That's true.
But still, I mean, at 3,000 RPM, you still have 314 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels.
Yeah.
And that's amazing for 37's.
For big, huge tires and wheels.
Yeah. Yeah, if the Jeep wasn't so long, you would probably be lifting the front end with that much torque.
Now that would be something to see.
Yeah.
We were talking about the fuel economy on the highway, and I've covered this lots so far if you want to go back and watch some of the more detailed videos. On our last trip, I was getting around 8.9 to 9.5 liters per 100 kilometer, depending on how fast I was traveling. 100 kilometers an hour seems to be the sweet spot for highway cruising and fuel efficiency, and then I would creep closer to 10 liters per 100 kilometers at about 120 kilometers an hour. So for our friends down in the States, we're averaging around 22 to 24 miles per gallon, traveling at around 70, 75 miles an hour. So way better than my 3.8 liter JK, and still better than the 3.6 liters in the Gladiator or Wranglers that were traveling with us. So pretty impressive if you want to save a bit of fuel economy or fuel mileage or fuel in general. But you know, you still are paying the premium to get the diesel engine. Huge thanks to the guys here at Paradigm Autoworks for getting the JL up on the dyno today. I really appreciate it. Make sure you do go check out their YouTube channel. Then they put out some pretty wicked videos as well. We'll be back next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, leave a like. I'll see you in the next upload.